Hello and welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. I hope you're well. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel and get involved in the comments whether it's on replay or on demand right now. Big up to everyone. We are in a different environment, a bit of a emergency stream, change of scenes, change of scenarios. We're in a car park. We're ready to rock and roll with some transfer news and content. Apologies that the screen may not be normal, but we are here ready to rock and roll. I had a few issues trying to get the camera the right way around. It doesn't seem to want to stay in this mode, so we're going with this and we're going to flow. But lots to talk about today. We've got the fact that Monchi is actually being touted by Fenerbahce, the Turkish giants. We've also got Morgan Rogers news. He is not for sale at any cost, despite Aston Villa having to worry about the fact that we may be absolutely having to sell a big name before June. Morgan Rogers has been told not for sale. We've got news on Loic Bade as well. This guy's a bad egg, and I don't like it. I don't like it. More on that. And finally, more news on Alex Moreno, Enzo Barrenechea, and much more to come. And of course, everyone, it's fixture release day tomorrow, 9 a.m. Aston Villa will know who they're playing at the key crucial times, the opening game, the Boxing Day fixture, the last game of the season. When are those nitty-gritty games against some of our biggest rivals? We'll have to see. But yeah, listen, big up to everyone. Make sure you do smash the like button for me with all that support on here. I do appreciate it. And as I said, haven't done a live for a few days. I needed to get on here, needed to talk to you guys and see how you're all doing. So big up to everyone in the chat. And as I said, look, it's hard doing it on the mobile phone. I don't get to see the comments as much as I'd like to. And now also I've seemed to pick the spot where the sun is coming down on my face. So apart from that, the commitment's here. You're going to be seeing me like move this visor up and down like that, but we'll bear with it. We can also talk on Emiliano Martinez. That one's gone all quiet on the Western Front, shall we say. But it does seem that there's one club in for Emiliano Martinez, and that one's not going away. So let's start on Monchi. And look, it's an interesting one, and LJ 1982 is basically saying it is, why would Monchi go to Fenerbahce? Why would he go to that washed up, interesting league that is Turkey? A two-horse league for Fenerbahce, Galatasaray of the past. There's had been a bit of change with the likes of Besiktas. You've seen Jose Mourinho go over to Turkey and apply his trade. You saw all sorts, really, of people going over there and having a go. Leroy Sané, interestingly, has just officially joined one of the other Turkish giants, Galatasaray. So it's all interesting, but Monchi being headhunted and Monchi being recruited has got me thinking, and it's got me looking at it, people. How valuable is Monchi to Aston Villa? If we were to lose Monchi, right now, and I said, look, he's actually going to Fenerbahce, they want him to join this summer, how disappointed would you be? Would you actually turn around and say that that's a massive miss for our club? That's a massive asset missed from our club. Or is it just a simple, okay, thank you for your time, next? Let me know your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions on that one in terms of Monchi. Because either way, having someone in that caliber who's worked with Unai Emery a lot, would he be interested in jumping ship? And my response to that would be, if Monchi was headhunted, and if Monchi was recruited by another club, does that mean he's lost faith in the Aston Villa role? I don't know. But Fenerbahce are interested in Monchi. Monchi, it's going to have to be a miracle for him to leave. He loves working with Unai Emery. Those two believe in their plan, their project, their recruitment. But my genuine question is, and a big up Meaty said, Monchi won't go anywhere. I literally pay that no attention. Agree. My question to you guys though is, I'll say it again, if we were to lose Monchi now, what rating out of 10 would you give his legacy at Aston Villa? What if you actually had to turn around and go, do you know what, Monchi, yeah, you know, Dean Smith's a prime example. Dean Smith, he got us promoted back to the Premier League. His legacy for me is untouched. His legacy is almost cemented. His legacy is, he's done what he came to do, got us back to the Premier League, kept us up. It's good. Has Monchi had enough time to turn around and go, do you know what, this guy hasn't worked out, or this guy had potential? Personally, for me, I think his January transfer window saved his ass, because his summer one last year balls it up. What I'm now interested in seeing is, how does Monchi navigate this current transfer window with the PSR, with missing out on Champions League? How does he go about and navigate this one? That's where I'm locked in. That's what I'm interested in. So, yeah, would love to know your thoughts, your feelings and emotions on that one, guys. And as always, let me know your thoughts. John says, seems like a solid backroom team, so can't see him going. Agree. LJ1982 says, too early to say, I think. look, I think let's judge him on this. I think we're going to judge him on this season's recruitment, aren't we? I think we're going to judge him on this transfer window this summer and see how he then backs it up with another January one. I have to say, bringing in Asensio, bringing in Rashford, bringing in Disasi, Donyell Marlin, saved Villa's ass in some sense. So, Monchi going to Fenerbahce, yeah, paper talk, a little bit of waffle. We'll have to see, but don't sleep on Galatasaray and Fenerbahce's sort of pool and what they're trying to do. They're trying to get back to, what did I say, something up, washed up. Yeah, because like a Leroy Sané, for example, is a player who's probably, he's been at Man City, he's gone to Bayern Munich, he's done everything to achieve. Leroy Sané going out to Turkey. Turkey is one of those moves that players seem to go to as a sort of a stop holder of still saying, oh, we're playing Europe, but sort of already in that semi-retirement phase, if you get me. So, yeah, Monchi for me won't go, and we'll hold on to him. And as Cyril said, can't see Monchi going to a second-rate European league, plus the geography of Turkey of ever going on that region at the moment. That's true. Sean Lake says the owners want the best. Ever he goes, we get better. Correct. And my final point on Monchi is he's got to deliver the best for us then. That's probably where we're short on with Monchi, is that he's not delivered us the best yet. I think if you combine his transfer windows overall, I think we're probably sitting on a 5. I nearly gave it a 4. A 5 out of 10. And I need to see more coming through of that one. So there we go. But yeah, big up to everyone. If anyone's ever wondering why I'm sat in my car today, as I said, a little bit of a different stream. Heidi and I, we had to get out and about. There's some things we need to do tonight. Have my Stars football coaching that I'm doing. We had to then go out. I'm currently sat in an Aston car park right now. So yeah, we've been busy tonight. We had to get a few things, but I didn't want to miss out on going live. I didn't want to leave it too late. I want to take up my usual 8:30 slot. So we are getting back in the groove of live streaming, especially where the transfer window deadline sort of shut. And I said I'll give it a few days and then we'll go again with some of these rumours, etc. So let's go on to the rumours of Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers is fundamentally a player in which every single person should be interested in. Every team, every club should be interested in Morgan Rogers because of the talent, the potential that he has. The one thing I'd say is we have to keep shutting down these offers, should I say. Morgan Rogers to Chelsea is one that seems to not disappear. It seems to be one that is Chelsea constantly seem interested in him. But we have come out and said he is not for sale at any cost, and I like that. There were rumoured fees that if we were to listen to Morgan Rogers transfer offers or Morgan Rogers dealings, it would be around 100 million. That's the mark we're asking for Morgan Rogers. But we've had to actually come out, we've put it out to the press that he's not for sale at any price, at any stake, to cough up the money or put it away. So yeah, I think that's a key one because again, 30th of June is looming. What are we on? We're on the 17th, 18th. 30th of June is looming. 12 days to go. We still haven't sold that big name player yet to comply with PSR. We've got clubs circling around us like vultures. Clubs wanting to get their claws and talons into our players. And which livestock is going to be snatched, we're going to have to wait and see. So will it be Leon Bailey? Will that be enough? Will Emmy Martinez go before the 30th of June? Will it be a Jacob Ramsey? But it certainly won't be a Morgan Rogers. So there we go. So yeah, big up to everyone. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm going to check in a second how many likes we're on in a second. Ian says, I like this. He says, I would say there are questions over Monchi. One, we didn't see have the necessary squad depth at the start of the season. Players not quite pushing through. Costa, Garcia, Matson. I'm with you, Ian. In fact, I think that's a very strong comment. A very reasonable one. And one in which I absolutely do agree on. So, yeah, big up to everyone. As I said, do smash the like button. Let's run this up to 20 likes ASAP. For me, that would be much appreciated. Okay, Loic Bade. As I said, I can't share anything on my screen right now. I really can't share anything on my screen, but that's fine. But Loic Bade, how do I say it with Loic Bade? Quite simple. He's being an asshole. 1 minute, Lloyd Bade is going, hey guys, I don't fancy your project in January. It's come out. Lloyd Bade rejected us. Sevilla were going to let Loic Bade go, but he turned around and said, no, I fancy the Sevilla project. Then we've heard a few days ago that he's come out and said, you know what, I might be open to a move. I might actually be interested in coming back to Aston Villa now. I want to hear what you've got to say. What game time are you offering me? It's been reported today, again, I believe it's by John Towley, a very reliable source, who has turned around and said Aston Villa and Loic Bade's relationship has broken down. Loic Bade has no interest in coming to Aston Villa, and yeah, basically, once again, that is a transfer that is going down the proverbial pan. So when you say that, and when you look at that, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I've put this on record with Lloyd Bade. I've put this on record with Lloyd Bade. I've actually said that I'm going to try and turn my camera on this way, actually, chat, because it didn't work last time. Let's see if it works like this. I've actually, no, I don't know why it then glitches to there. No idea why my phone's doing that, but I tried it. But yeah, Lloyd Bade is basically someone who I feel like is a João Felix. Just yeah, might join you, might not. Might play for Villa, might not. Oh no, actually, do you know what? Screw Villa. So Lloyd Bade, again, he was going to cost us around 25-30 million euros. The price tag. He can play right back, centre back. But he just seems a player that, quite frankly, I'm not having anymore. I'm done with Loic Bade. But I think we're going to waste time on him. My personal opinion is we're going to be basically begging Loic Bade to come play for us, which is where we're ending up. So there we go. Heidi has joined me back in the car. She's got an elite snack. So if you do hear some crunching in the background, it's because she's on an elite level snack, a great snack, which I'll be scrambling into in a minute. But oh no. Meek says, surely the players we've had on them going backwards massively to solving the PSR issues. Not necessarily, but I know what you're trying to say. It's whether we can sell those players. But all we've heard for the last month is it's got to be a big name player. That's all I've been hearing. Villa must sell a reasonable big name player to fall in line for PSR. Ian says, one person I think went under the radar was Mackenzie. He, for me, seems to be great at identifying top lane talent, so I think it was a little premature to have let him go. Big up Ian. And meets and Josh is a short career. Can't blame any player for overthinking which clubs to join. I get that. What I feel like the situation is, though, with Lloyd Bade is that I think he wants Villa to guarantee him starting time. I think that what is with Lloyd Bade is what put him off is in January, he knew that Ezri Konsa's our right side of centre back. And let's be honest, Konsa's the man, Konsa's the guy. Ezri Konsa's pretty hard to be dropped or put on the bench, and unless Konsa goes right back, then Bade ain't playing. But what I think that Lloyd Bade is probably going to be proposed is look, if you come to Villa, you're going to be our right back, and you're going to play some game time at right centre back as well. Is Bade that good, though? That's the question. Is Loic Bade worth this hassle, worth this energy, worth this recruitment, or is there better out there? Are we really wasting our time on this guy? Because, again, I don't want to be here in a month's time doing a live stream going, we're back in for Loic Bade. Loic Bade talks are continuing. Loic Bade talks have stalled. Loic Bade has rejected us. Let's get him in. If he wants to play, get him in. But again, hard to comment on Loic Bade. Again, when we were linked with him in January, some people said he's quite slow. Some people said there's not much to him. Some people actually said that, this is not a great one. Other people said different, very good on the ball, very much like Pau Torres, but right-footed, does have some athleticism, dynamism. So it's a mixed response on Loic Bade, which interests me. Ian says also, with Monchi, it all comes down to how ruthless our owners are. If Bade wants guaranteed game time, then he's definitely not getting a top team. That's true. That is true. And if he comes in, we'll play 3 CBs anyway. I am up for Unai Emery changing the system. I am up for Unai Emery having a little bit of a tinker and actually trying to work out another way of playing, especially because I think we became a little bit predictable near the end of last season. And I think that we need to find plan Bs, plan Cs. And I think that playing people in a back three is definitely going to help us, or 5 at the back. So let's see what happens with that one. In terms of defenders then, a little bit of news on Alex Moreno. Alex Moreno is having a few suitors. Alex Moreno has had Leeds United and Real Betis interested in him massively. Now, Moreno, we know, one of those players that we need to offload. We've got Luca Dean. We've got Enzo Baranchea. Not Enzo Baranchea, sorry. We've got Luca Dean. We've got Ian Matson. But players like Moreno and Enzo Baranchea, who've been out on loan, are basically going to be sold again, as Meeks has said, about trying to solve our PSR issues. Moreno going to Leeds United, for me, perfect for him. He couldn't get into the Nottingham Forest team, though. Let's just remind ourselves of that. Moreno couldn't get into the Nottingham Forest team. He struggled to get into that side. And essentially, his playing time wasn't what was expected. Leeds would be good. Real Betis makes it the other one. Because then, if he goes to Real Betis, he could be part of a deal with Rodriguez, the winger that we've been linked to of most recent times. Jesus Rodriguez. Keep your eye on that one. If Moreno goes to Real Betis, expect a little bit of a swap deal or a money deal with Jesus Rodriguez, because his price is hefty, by the way. Jesus Rodriguez, between 35 and 50 mil as a price tag, is absolutely disgusting for a very average player at the moment as a 1920, but the roof is high. In terms of left backs as well, I should say, and I forgot to put it in the title, is that Luca Dean. Don't know if you guys have seen the chat on Luca Dean today. Luca Dean, Atletico Madrid are keeping their eyes on him if they fail to sign Andy Robertson. We all know that Luca Dean is on a 1-year contract left. He keeps coming out and saying, Luca Dean keeps coming out and saying, listen, I want to play for the Villa, but they haven't offered me a new contract, new deal. I don't want to leave on a free next season. Luca Dean has said that. He doesn't want to leave on a free. He doesn't want to sort of put the club in that position. And so, could we see Luca Dean to Atletico Madrid as a potential? Because I can't see Liverpool losing Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson in one season. Liverpool to lose Trent and Robbo in one season would be absolutely astronomical. It lopsides and unbalances the team completely. Yes, they bought in Frimpong. Yes, they're going to probably recruit again. But with Villa, Luca Dean could go to Atletico Madrid, and for good money as well. So we talk about surprises. That was another name that came up today. So we know that Moreno is going to leave. But if Moreno leaves, then surely we can't get rid of Luca Dean. We need the options at left back. So yeah, is the Redmond signing still pending? I don't know if we've had the official here we go yet on that one, but yeah, I think it's one of those that's going to take a while as an 18-year-old. I think people are forgetting about the money coming in for Duran in terms of PSL. So I imagine we need money coming in. I don't imagine it being that much. The total is 15 to 20 million is the total that's being touted around that Villa need for PSR. But we also have to look at, not underselling or overselling players in the wrong way. Emery has tried to make 3 CBs work all season, 100% the way it's going, with the left back being more attacking. Correct. Do you think we will sign Desarty, or do you think we get a better option? I think Axel's in the abyss. I think Axel Desarty has basically said, I've enjoyed my time, can you sign me? And Villa a bit like, you've trained hard, but your game play has been crap. So, yeah, there we go on that one. Now I'm going to keep that down. But Luca Dean to Atletico Madrid. Can anyone see Luca Dean leaving with a year left on his contract? Or do you see Villa offering him another deal? Or do you see him running out and going on a free? If we lost Luca Dean on a free, that would be some terrible, terrible business. Horrendous business, in fact. If Luca Dean was to leave on a free, it'd be horrendous. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, people. What's your thoughts and feelings on Luca Dean? Let me know. But Rodgers will leave. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he'll leave. I don't think he will at all. I think there's more probable players like Jacob Ramsey, etc., who are higher on the ranking order than that. So, yeah, if Moreno goes, if Enzo Baranchea goes, if Buendia goes, then basically what it comes down to is Villa have basically got rid of their lone deadwood, got some money in, and then maybe not had to pull the trigger on 1 or 2 more. But there you go. Noel Mason said, I think Monchi has delivered every season by delivering European football along with Unai Emery. They are simply a team. Monchi and Emery have total control of Villa's affairs with our own blessings. It's true. Those two are a pair. Hence why I could never see Unai Emery letting him go. No way would he let him go to another club and work in a different role. Paul Johnson says Cash is the one to go. We can only keep our fingers crossed. But I doubt it. I think Matty Cash becomes the backup right back. And I think Villa look to recruit someone else. I think Cash plays second fiddle massively next season. Last season where we can make good money on Dean, Watkins, Mings, McGinn, I think any could go. So yeah, look, we can't beat around the bush. Arsenal and Ollie Watkins still is a thing, isn't it? Because Arsenal can't get their transfers sorted. They can't sign Sesko. They can't sign Gyökeres. So they're going to try and bully Villa into Ollie Watkins. I can see it now. And Watkins will ask. Do you know what? Ollie Watkins, for me, will probably ask to go as well if an offer comes in. So we'll see. But yeah, Luca Dean for me. Keep an eye on that one. That story is interesting today. But yeah, before I wrap up, because I'm gonna do a shorter one in here because obviously we're in the car, different vibe. Got to get off as well. Can't sit in this car park forever. But people do smash the like button for me as well. I would appreciate that. One final sort of player, again that people have mentioned about is the Emmy Martinez news. United are coming out and saying Andre Onana's not for sale, and they're not getting rid of Andre Onana. Essentially, the moment that we hear or see Onana leave Manchester United or there's a club lined up for him, panic. Still think Emmy to leave Aston Villa is on the cards. Some people think he's staying. It's one of those transfers I think that I've never been so gripped on. I have no idea how this one's going to go. I think Jack Grealish to Man City, when all that speculation happened, I think it felt inevitable that he was going to leave. I think it felt inevitable that he was going to go and try and play and win some trophies. But this one certainly catches my eye because I don't think any fan knows. And it was the tears at Villa Park that absolutely threw everyone. So, yeah, I can't really give you too much Emmy Martinez news apart from the fact that still the same murmurings. Manchester United are interested, but they're only going to get him if Onana goes. Meek says, age of the players will play a factor in outgoings roster. Nobody considers it, but we have a few players getting to the age where you cash in or keep them until they retire. Hence why you hear Arsenal fans say, listen, Ollie Watkins has no resale value. That's all I'm hearing from Arsenal fans. If we buy Watkins, we can't sell him again. It's true. Once Watkins makes his move, he'll have no resale value. That's it. £50 million player, but you're never getting that money ever again for him or more. But there we go. Right, people, it's a short and sweet one. And getting back into the flow of live streams, as I said, we have been using that 8:30 slot in the past, where we've had a busy period, a busy time, and also a lack of transfer news. The weekends, basically, is where I stopped doing the streams. I like to do the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we're going to keep going. So make sure your notification bell is glued on, locked in, ready for more content. Make sure you run up the likes before we lock out of it. And I appreciate every single one of you who's come here, listened, commented, or had your say on Villa stuff. The stories keep getting more interesting, crazier, and yet no further forward. Who will Aston Villa sell before the 30th of June? Lock in and find out. Big up to everyone. Thanks for your support tonight. I'm dipping out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. And yeah, up the bloody Villa. 9 a.m. You'll see me tomorrow. 9 a.m. Fixed release day. There'll be some content. Whether I'm probably going live. So lock in on that. People, I'm out of here. Ta-da.